All right, so haven't done an update really. Let's see if I can widen this. There we go. Haven't done an update in a while with my GHK, but no time better than now. So let's see, about 2 years now that I've had this. Quick overview of if you're new. This is a GHK G17 Gen 3 on CO2. So not only does it use CO2 mags, but it has internals built for CO2, which I've gone over, and I'll quickly do so in this video. These are steel slide, so a lot of heft behind it. If I remember correctly, these are only a couple ounces less than a real slide. So another thing is, if you know GHK, well not GHK, if you know airsoft Glocks, and you're looking at this and you're like, something's missing, it's not drilled out, where's the hammer gonna fall? No hammer. This uses a striker instead of a hammer. So that's where you get a lot of the weight as well, not only just steel, but this is pretty much a full metal besides the bore drilled out for the nozzle. Okay, so as for the updates, the RMR, this is a real RMR. It's not a replica, this is a real one. I have not changed the battery since I got it, which is probably 2 years now. It's always on, as you can see. It's on low right now, but original battery still going strong. Never turns off, because even if I do turn it off and I put it in my holster, sometimes it hits the plus button and turns it back on. So it's never been turned off. Also have never taken it off and it still holds 0. So this RMR cut, even though it does not have the front lugs milled in for the RMR, it's just a flat cut with holes, still has retained 0. If I can show you, yeah, still pretty spot on to 0. And no shift, it's been tossed around, it's been thrown around, still on there. So that's good. These are real steel sights, Ameriglow, I forgot the number, what exact sights they are, but they're still on strong. As for the internals, the CO2 spring and guide rod, and if you're looking at this and saying, that's silver, not black, that's because this is the Maple Leaf GHK hop-up unit. So the original hop-up unit you would have to take out, spin the dial, put it back in. It was a long, lengthy process just to adjust hop-up. The Maple Leaf, as a complete unit, comes with a new inner, new bucking, and obviously the hop-up unit, which is more like a standard airsoft hop-up unit, where you don't have to do all this just to adjust a hop-up. You just have to take the slide off and you can spin the dial right there to adjust hop-up. Haven't tested this one out yet. The stock hop-up actually was doing fine until, for some reason, one day I noticed no BBs were being shot out, and that's because the inner barrel just deleted itself. I have no idea, I must have been shooting it, maybe it popped out, but if I was gonna go all the way through the lengths of getting a new inner barrel for it and everything, I was like, let me just switch over to the new hop-up from Maple Leaf. Side note, stock hop-up units do take standard gas blowback inner barrels. If anybody was wondering, I wasn't too sure. I didn't even bother looking. I had a spare inner barrel, threw it in, and it fit. But I wasn't gonna take any chances again. Plus I wanted to see what the new hop-up would do, and so I got it. So I'm still waiting to see how the new hop-up performs, because I haven't used it yet. But this is it. As stock on CO2, I still thought it was pretty decent. I was getting good, consistent-ish hop for a pistol. Range was really good. Accuracy was pretty decent. for a stock hop-up setup, and running, I usually run 0.28 to sometimes even 0.32 on pistols. So even with the heavyweight BBs, the stock hop-up unit did great. FPSs are still on the lower side, even with CO2. The CO2 really only helps with more kick and faster cycling of the weapon compared to green gas. But the FPS does not change much. And for a sidearm, I don't really need that much, so I'm pretty happy. I think it's last time I chronoed it with a 0.25, its chrono was about 290 to 300, if I remember correctly. So depending where you live, that's probably perfect. For me, I'm allowed up to, I think, 350 for most pistols. And being a sidearm, they usually don't even chrono them. But even with the lowest FPS, still good range and accuracy. Just obviously, it's not moving as fast. So you got to lead your targets a little bit more if they're running. But other than that, I was just doing a quick update. I've probably put, I don't know how many rounds through this. Somewhere in probably the 2,000 to 3,000s right now. Obviously, like the last video stated, I did have to modify the hop-up, or not the hop-up, the nozzle, because I kept having issues with the nozzle loading arm for the BBs kept snapping. After about the third nozzle, I said, screw it, I'm just gonna reinforce it before it even attempts to break. But I've heard so far that the past few batches, they have had no nozzle issues. So probably something you don't have to worry about anymore if you're planning on getting one. If you do want to modify your nozzle, I have a couple guides I could direct you to. It's very easy, simple. Just need a hand drill. I think a 1/16 drill bit is what I used, and some super glue. But yeah, I know somebody commented the last video, stop moving the gun around so much, so I'm taking it nice and slow so you guys can see it. I know the slide doesn't look so pretty. I have some little bit of oil staining, not stains, but they just sort of built up. I cleaned the gun a little bit ago, so that's where you're seeing, but the finish is still holding up super well. Just catch the light nice. Obviously, you're gonna have some wear over here where the outer barrel locks up to the slide. But overall, I'm very pleased and happy with this. I have still not tried to put the new improved trigger in. My trigger, being one of the first generations of this gun, was the original trigger, which is or was kind of, well, really stiff to pull. But after shooting it for a while, it broke in very nice. So maybe you guys want to hear the slide fall. But yeah, trigger, it's a lot better. I know a lot of the newer ones that have come out in the past year or so have come standard with the new improved trigger, so you don't need to get one. I might get one, put it in, see if it's even any better, but this, I feel like as long as you clean it well and you do, you know, a few hundred, maybe 1,000 rounds through it if you need to. I did mine probably 200 to 300 BBs, and trigger really became a lot smoother, crisper, and it didn't feel like I needed 2 fingers to pull it. But yeah, that is the GHK G17. Not gonna lie, I've abused this thing. Besides the inner barrel going missing, no issues. Well, and that and the nozzle issue, but that's been resolved. The mags themselves, I'm not gonna lie, I know I used to harp on maintenance of your gas mags, oiling them, cleaning them, never leaving them empty. I have not gonna lie, I've let a couple of these go empty and sit. I have not cleaned them in a while, and they still hold gas. I have some mags that have probably CO2 cartridges that have been in them for maybe even a year now, because some of the mags I don't use as much. I haven't been playing much, so when I do go to shoot this just for fun, I only, use a couple mags. So there's some mags that probably haven't been touched in a while, and last I checked all of them, they still had pressure. So very pleased. I wouldn't have been mad if they did leak, because like I said, I did neglect them. But I think that just goes to show. I love this sidearm. I know somebody who got theirs before me that I did work on. He loves his still. I know I have a friend who got his after seeing mine. He loves it. Like I said, this is not a performance gun. This is not going to be like a fully built Tokyo Marui Glock build that is super gas efficient, shoots laser beams. Like, this is meant for realism. If you're looking for the super precise, gets 60 BBs per mag fill, and then this is not for you. If you want a gun that feels just like the real one, kicks harder than any airsoft pistol that I know of, then this is for you. And it can be milled for an RMR, and I've seen people mill it for other optics as well, so that's pretty cool. No need to get a whole different slide just to mount an optic. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment. Happy to help, and I hope you guys have a good day.